West Virginia goes out to Provo and looks pretty bad overall. It's another beatdown, but we've got the bye week ahead. Is there anything positive to draw from this loss?
You are Locked On West Virginia, your daily podcast on the West Virginia Mountaineers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's up, guys? Welcome back in. My name is Mountaineer Paul. I am your host. This is Locked On West Virginia, where we're discussing another big loss for the West Virginia Mountaineers in Provo tonight, late night, 2 a.m. kind of stuff. Thank you guys for joining in on a late show. I know you're tired. You probably want to go to bed. This is for the sickos. If you're a sicko like we are, this is the time to be up, right? This episode is brought to you by Mazda. Like our players, we sweat every detail. Because when you make every move count, pulling off the unexpected is only the beginning. Stay tuned later for highlights in this week's Move the Game Forward with Mazda. Move and be moved. And I'm not alone because, much like myself, Jackson Johnson is a sicko as well.
Yeah, I'm such a sicko that I was looking at South Florida, Charlotte, looking at the point spread of it to the point where I found out South Florida won by half a point to beat the spread against Charlotte.
Nice.
Doubling one.
So, obviously, West Virginia loses this football game 38-24. It was never really close. I feel like, BYU clearly a better football team here. Want to give the Cougars a lot of credit. They're super nice people. Heard a lot of reports from people that were there saying they were treated very well. This is the nicest fan base in the Big 12. This is one of the best fan bases in the country. So they deserve the winning and everything they have going on right now. It just unfortunately comes at the expense of our Mountaineers, who just can't buy a break right now. None. There really wasn't much we could do to stop them on defense. And that was, I don't want to say shocking, but I expected us to get a couple more stops. This is the second week in a row where our defense has been as bad as I've seen it as last year. So, on offense, there was some slivers of hope. Obviously, Khalil at the quarterback spot does make us more dangerous. He struggles to throw it some. That's the big worry. But I don't know if struggling to throw it's the right word. I just think there's not a lot of timing right now. There's issues right beyond, and not to mention
Cam Vaughn was having hot potato on that one play in the third quarter, which caused the interception.
Right. Well, I mean, whenever when you never hardly get the ball thrown to you, it's hard to get in a rhythm. It's just, we're wasting his talent for sure. I wish he could have a redshirt year. It's unfortunate for Cam, but we'll be lucky to get him to stick around through next year, but hopefully we can. I think there are going to be a lot of people that say Khalil was the quarterback for the future. I'm not sure if I'm ready to say that yet. I think he's a great runner for sure. And if you were just going to run the spread option, then yeah, I would take him in a heartbeat. But I just need to see him develop. I want to see how he looks the rest of the year. I think we're going to find out one year, one way or the other. But, certainly this isn't on him. He played as well as he could given the circumstances. What were your impressions of Khalil Wilkins, Jackson?
I liked what I saw from him for a little bit. I think he'll have, if he is starting against Central Florida, I think he's going to have a better outing than he did against that BYU defense. But,
West Virginia was able to move the ball on them. They really was able to move. This is the best offensive performance we've had since Pitt by a large margin. It ain't close. So, we went on 6 3-and-outs to start the Kansas game, just for context. This is on the road. It's 10:30. You're injured to hell. These guys, our kids played hard today, and it wasn't good enough. And we're it's not going to be like this forever. first year suck, but let me switch that background up here. This West Virginia team was physically dominated by Pitt, especially in offense. Bear Bachmeier, obviously the real deal. He's probably a future Heisman contender, Jackson.
Yeah, I mean, like, dude had 351 passing yards, 18 of 25 completed passes, 1 passing touchdown, and he had 1 rushing touchdown with 43 yards and 12 carries. Like, Bear Bachmeier, I mean, they say he's the best freshman quarterback college football right now, and he's wearing number 47.
Chase Roberts was the big difference maker in this game. He only had 4 catches, but it went for almost 200 yards. Parker Kingston right there with him. So those two guys are a two-headed monster receiver. Along with Cody Hagan wasn't as big a factor as I thought he would be. And it just seemed like every time West Virginia got them in second, third and long, or in a situation that was beneficial to the defense, they would gain 11 or 12 yards and chunk West Virginia out. So West Virginia could just never capitalize on situations where most defenses have an advantage. And I have to say this. I'm very disappointed in the Jamori Robinson so far. I expected way more than what we've gotten. He has generated no pass rush. 0. Absolutely none. Not on him all the way. I'm not saying that, our defensive performance is bad. I mean, he's made a play here or there, but I was expecting him to be a game wrecker, somebody that was going to be a problem for people. And so far in 3 straight games, he's been solidly blocked in one-on-one. So that was a heartbreaker. Michael Coach Jr. got beat today for the first time. And, Chase Roberts cooked him. Absolutely cooked him. He's an NFL receiver, Chase Roberts is. Don't get me wrong. But Michael Coach Jr. got cooked on some Chase Robert, that inside that outside release that he pulled that turned Michael Coach around and then he just hit the post on him was disgusting. Disgusting. And I think it was the play where they got our safety to come down, and they spread us horizontally so they could hit us down the seams and vertically. It was a frustration. They reminded me a little bit of how Iowa State operated under Brock Purdy. That's how they reminded me. So, yeah. For the first 3 weeks of the year, we could count on the defense. We can't anymore. Quill Wilkins, 7 of 15, 81 yards, 2 picks. One of the picks not his fault.
No.
Scotty Fox came in garbage time and looked pretty good. We had the touchdown, the big touchdown, but Khalil Wilkins had the 23 carries for 89 yards. I'm not sure that you don't go with Scotty next week. I know that's some people may say that's crazy. Maybe you got to still see what you have in Khalil, but Scotty's a much better passer, and I just don't know that we're going to be able to. Khalil can't withstand the damage that this is going to. I mean, he's going to be okay for the next game because we've got 2 weeks.
Here's my question. How are we feeling about the offensive line, and how are we feeling about Jack Bittnell Jr.?
It's a good question. I think it's so far not so good, right? But at the same time, it's year one, and no offensive line coach to be judged in year one for his job. You have to replace all 5 offensive linemen. You're very likely not going to hit on all 5 unless you're willing to spend a couple $1 million. So West Virginia purposely even held back $5 million, according to Hoppy Kirchpool, which I have a question about that. If West Virginia had spent the over $5 million, is this team good enough with another $5 million to be competitive? I think it's an interesting question.
Agreed.
Maybe fully healthy with Jaheim White and everybody, and Jaden Bray and company. Maybe. I think you add 5 good offensive linemen. But Somebody in the comments is saying the defense wasn't bad. What do you mean? They got about 14. They gave up 28 points in the first half. But, like, Bachmeyer hit us for 351 yards on 18 completions. They had, let's look at quick math, 90, 30, 40, 58, close to 200 rushing yards. Yeah, I don't know about defense. Definitely the defense was an issue today. The offense, it was more than just big plays. You're not thinking correct. they got. You want to look at the third down? We can look at third down. Let's have a look see at it if they've got it yet. I don't know. Let's see.
Oh, here we go. Let's get at it.
There
it is.
They have 4 for 4 on fourth down. That's a killer, right? Oof. 5 for 12 on third down, which is about average. I thought it was better. 23 first downs. And that's with 3 turnovers.
Man, West Virginia held BYU to 25% on third down conversions. Wow, that is huge.
Where are you seeing that? I see 5 for 12.
Oh, I'm looking at ESPN.
Google says 5 for 12. What do you see?
Oh, I was looking at 4 for 12 on there.
Oh, well, there's a discrepancy then. I don't know. This one says 5 for 12. Hold on. It's weird.
Looks like Google watched this game more than ESPN did.
It's hard to say. Either way, it was the fourth downs is what killed us. When you count the fourth down with the third down, that's probably 9 for 12. And that's really you know what I'm trying to say? On the other 7 third downs they didn't get, they probably got 4 of those fourth downs. Ooh. So it's like, they just kept converting. But anyways, there was no good thing today. Like, there was no way for us to be competitive. They kept hitting big plays on first down. So it was overall just a bad game. But there were some glimmers of hope. So we'll just have to continue to see. But
what if West Virginia had stopped BYU short on that fake field goal? That's something I really keep thinking about as well.
Yeah. I mean, I think it would have helped. It would have definitely helped for sure. I mean, the game was within reach at that point, but our defense was close to at its breaking point by then. It's almost 2:00 in the morning by the time we're done with this game. It's just a lot of bad. It's a lot of bad adding up to all the way on our side. But let's go to break here really quick, and what we'll do is we'll come back and talk about the bye week ahead. What do we need to see? What do we think should happen? And what does Jackson foresee in the future after the bye week for West Virginia? We're going to talk about that next with Jackson Johnson. And this episode of Locked On West Virginia is going to be brought to you by our friends over at Mazda. Talking about Mazda. Look, when it comes to Mazda, right now, you're going to move the game forward. Well, you can do that with Mazda. For those who believe it's not about just playing the game, it's about redefining it. There are moments that do more than put points on the board. They move crowds, they move culture, they move the game forward. This week's moment that moved the game forward is probably Khalil Wilkins. I think at the end of the day, he was, a spotlight in the game at times. He really ran the ball well. He made some key passes. It wasn't always pretty. There was a big drop bomb that I think would have really added to his total. So there were some things to like in the game for him for sure. So we'll see what happens there going forward. But when you follow what moves you, the unexpected is only the beginning. And just like there's more to every highlight, there's more to a Mazda vehicle. Today with Mazda. Move and be moved. and our friends over at DoorDash. And that's Jackson's favorite because, look, it's almost the weekend, and it's time to look back at this week's MVP, Who Delivered, powered by DoorDash. If you want a chicken nugget, you can win every Saturday with DoorDash Streaks, saving more every time you order. These players delivered when it mattered most. Let's break it down. For West Virginia, you have to go with the Khalil Wilkins today. 21 carries. He did deliver in a big way with his legs. And, I think he was really hard-edged today. He was tough to stop. He played well enough with his legs to win the game. Unfortunately, the rest of the offense didn't follow him into it, really. I mean, the passing offense wasn't good enough. But I think he's showing that he can be on a streak. And just like Khalil Wilkins delivered for West Virginia for the most part in the run game today, DoorDash delivers your Saturdays with DoorDash Streaks. You save every Saturday you order, so stack that up all season, and you can save up to $250, including $100 in DoorDash credits. Order this Saturday, keep the streak alive, and fuel your game day with DoorDash, where the terms apply. The promo code will be good until November 18th. Yeah, I'm tired. Segment 2, let's crack a do so we can stay awake for the rest of this one, Jackson.
Oh, there we go. That's why I had some coffee prepared for this hour.
Did you know I was going to ask you to come on?
I figured.
Question about BYU. Do you think they're underrated in the conference right now? It seems like most people will talk about Texas Tech and Utah. How big is that Holy War coming up here in a couple weeks?
Oh, 2 weeks from now? Very big. If it's on at the same time as Alabama, Tennessee, I am flipping between both those games.
Yeah. And having played them in back-to-back weeks, it's a pretty evenly matched game, really. I mean, they're both really good football teams. They do it differently, but they're both smash mouth, kind of teams. I still think, BYU, I mean, who knows what's going to happen with Glasgow and Jack Kelly going forward. I mean, those are two really good players that got injured in that game. But overall, man, BYU showed to be a pretty good player, have some good players today.
Oh, no
Going
doubt.
forward for West Virginia, we've got the bye week ahead. I think the number one thing I want to see over the next 2 weeks is just get healthy. This team has so many players injured, and there are some that are injured for the year. But this is a team that's licking its wounds right now, I mean, it's just the way it is. Started with Kansas. This is 3 straight beatdowns in a row that started with Kansas. You're just so far behind the curve with every other Big 12 team right now. It's pretty sad, I don't know. It's just there's so much evidence that points to us being not even a good football team, not even an average football team, but a bad football team. When it's 3 weeks in a row like this, you just have to admit it. And I was holding out hope. Obviously, the injuries play a factor. Absolutely. Could we get healthy and be a little better? Sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we could. I don't know. What do you think?
The best part about being down is the only way to go is up. And the best part about being really down is that somebody, and I mean anybody, on that schedule is going to be looking ahead to another game. And they're going to be playing with their food a little bit, but I think West Virginia can catch them where they least expect it. And who knows who that opponent will be, but they're going to get somebody. And somebody was asking who West Virginia could beat. I think Central Florida is a possibility, and I think Colorado is a possibility.
Yeah. Yeah, I see some comments in there talking about next year. What that number is going to be, Smack, I don't know. I think it depends on who you return, right?
Yeah.
So I thought like Landon Livingston played a good, like if you watched, he played good today. He's getting better. Obviously, he had a week's rest because of the injury, and then he got nicked up again. Nick Cray played okay at times. I thought Kimo Macaniello probably played his best game today. The offensive line as a whole actually played better today, even though it was lopsided. I feel like our offense could at least move the ball. As in other weeks, it was like 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out punt, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out punt. And here we are. We were actually moving it today. It was actually kind of exciting to at least watch. And a lot of that had to do with Khalil. I mean, he made a lot of plays. Dior Hubbard made some plays at the running back spot. Ty Edwards just wasn't given enough carries to do anything, and they keyed on him so hard when he did get the ball that it was like didn't make any difference. But to address the next year thing, I think obviously, yes, we're going to have a large number of players, and I wish I could say at what positions they would be. But I don't think it's going to be 80. You're going to cut it back. You're going to scale it back to 30 or maybe 40 this next year, which is more doable. And so maybe next year you're an 8-win team or 9-win team if you're lucky. I mean, I wouldn't put it past Rich Rod to turn it around pretty quick. It's just we got to get our guys in. But overall, it's just a frustration to have to go through the process. But let's see what happens out of the bye week. I mean, you beat UCF, you beat Colorado. Those are two teams that are absolutely beatable for West Virginia. Then you just have to get 2 more wins somewhere, and I don't know where that comes, but you got to hope, right? I mean, I would love to see this team at least go to a bowl game, just from a developmental standpoint for the young players, and all that. So, look at and if you look beyond that, it's pretty rough sledding. I mean, obviously, the bulk of your schedule is, especially Utah and Kansas turned out to be good. I was kind of hoping that Utah would be like they were last year. So this has been a rough stretch. UCF is definitely beatable. TCU is more beatable to me than BYU is.
Yeah.
But and then Houston is also, I think, beatable in Colorado. So you can make some hay over the next 4 weeks before you probably lose to Arizona State and Texas Tech. But, I mean, look, it's still not a bad time to get the bye week. I mean, if I'm looking at West Virginia, you built yourself a little momentum on offense heading into the bye. Now you can really figure out what you're good at with Khalil Wilkins and build a team around his talents. Put some stuff in for you at UCF, and all that, because I mean that's a game this team sorely needs from just a flat out for their own psyche, I think, So what are your thoughts on it, Jackson? I mean, UCF plays Kansas today. They're probably going to be coming off a loss.
And they're going to be playing Cincinnati next week.
So they're probably going to be coming off 2 losses. Maybe they go 1-1. Maybe they go 2-0 even. Hell, who knows? We could be playing a really good UCF team by the
West
time they
Virginia's
come
going
to
to get some good game film on Central Florida these next 2 weeks.
Right. Agreed. So, but, as far as the bye week goes, I mean, hopefully we can get some of these players healthy. I mean, that's just all we can hope for. As for BYU, I mean, this is a big time for them. They've got a lot riding on these next couple games. They could very well be. I don't know if I would go as far as to say, and this isn't me hating at all. I don't know if they're national championship good. I mean,
no.
they were taking that a little bit far on the broadcast. Could
That's
I see BYU being Big 12 contenders? Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
But like national championship good, I don't know about that yet.
Somebody was saying that BYU could win a couple playoff games. I'm like, wait a minute.
That's what they said during the broadcast. I was thinking, man, they just get carried away with it, don't they?
Yeah, it's like a lot of people tend to get carried away in excitement, and a lot of people tend to get carried away in disappointment. But you can't go through life thinking everybody and everything's going to let you down. And you can't always throw the cart in before the horse when there's one little thing that looks exciting. You don't want to fall for fool's gold,
Agreed. To the question from Chaz Clark, Ulrich has his 3 years, not next year already, not looking good. Anybody that's skilled is gone. Why would you stay? Because several reasons to stay.
Yeah,
Look at Utah last year. They went 3-9. A lot of their players stayed, right?
exactly.
Arizona State, how many games they win in year one?
3.
3 games. Everybody
Houston
stayed.
last season won 4 games.
Right. Everybody came back. Now they're 5-0. So you're just not looking at it right. People will stay because we're going to pay them to stay. The ones they want, they'll pay them. That's a flat out fact. And I believe that, Rich Rod. I really do. This is just a tough situation for us right now. No doubt about it. 100%. I don't like it. You don't like it. Nobody likes it. But we have to sit through it, unfortunately. And we will. As fans, we will, because we love the team. But let's not get too carried away with the negativity, because this team has a chance to be good next year. Like I said, Hoppy Kirchville said they held back intentionally $5 million from this year's money to pay for next year's talent. So they were already thinking ahead, right? They knew it was going to be tough in year one anyway. So why spend it all and waste it on year one? Now you can spend up to $15 million on the cap or whatever, and you probably already have a $5 million head start on the NIL portion of this. So not a bad place to be. Texas Tech has about a $30 million roster this year. So can you come close to that? I don't know. I think you can get close to 20 or 22. We'll see. I think, you got that kind of money, then next year you're in a much better spot. You're going to be able to buy an offensive line. You're going to be able to buy a defensive line. Those would be the two, probably the 2 first spots that I would go to, and I would build out from there and then hope some of your skill talent stays. If a Scotty Fox, Khalil Wilkins stay, if a Cam Bond stays, if Jaden Bray can come back, I know he gets injured all the time, but he's got the talent. If Jaheim White comes back, if Ty Edwards comes back, there's a lot of guys that you would want back on a better football team, right? And there's some guys on defense too that you would want back. So this team is not lost. You're just going to add to the mix, right? It's kind of like to use something most West Virginians would understand. It's like alcohol, Jackson. It's like whenever you're in a still and you're making moonshine. Well, a lot of times you use what's left over from the last batch, right, to start the new batch. That's what we'll be doing next year with Jackson Johnson's approval, of course. Let's go to break. I'm going to ask Jackson, is there anything positive about this team? We'll do it next. And this episode of Locked On West Virginia is going to be brought to you by Peloton. That's right. The Peloton. Peloton is shaping the future of fitness with the brand new Peloton cross-training tread. It's powered by Peloton IQ. It's their most advanced equipment yet, designed to give Jackson real-time guidance and endless ways to move, whether you're running, lifting, or cross-training with your favorite instructors. This is a training reimagined. Imagine that. Peloton is built for breakthroughs with tools that help you plan, stay motivated, and reach peak performance. The swivel screen is a game changer. You can go from running on the tread plus to strength training without missing a beat, and the personalized class recommendations keep you engaged. You get workouts tailored to your vibe and energy level each week. So let yourself run, lift, flex, and push forward. Do it with the all-new Peloton Cross-Training Tread Plus. Explore the new possibilities today at onepeloton.com. We are back with Jackson Johnson, the official voice on all things college football Friday nights. Is there anything positive that we can see here from tonight's performance from the Mountaineers, or is it all doom and gloom?
Well, it's not all doom and gloom. I get 2025 sucks. Don't get me wrong, but it's not all doom and gloom. because you got Fred Perry as one of the positives. You're going to have a better answer at quarterback during the bye week between Wilkins and Fox. So there's that. I mean, the offensive line, negative. I totally get that. But you're going to have Ty Edwards coming. Like, he's 100% healthier than he was this week and last week.
Right.
Hubbard and plenty of other guys on offense. And Vaughn. I mean, there's Vaughn. All he has to do is learn not to play hot potato. And he's good. You just don't go playing hot potato, hot potato, hot potato, hot potato. Nope.
Latte, chocolate, latte, chocolate. On a short week and a 10:30 kickoff for our players, I don't think they did better than expected. Too much negativity. Laz, I think it's just the culmination of all this, right? It's not just today. It's the last 2 weeks before today. It's the last 3 weeks, right? It's the drubbing from Kansas, right?
Oof.
It's just everything, man. It's a frustrating thing to deal with as a fan. And oh, by the way, you lost to Ohio University 17-10. I mean, 41-10 Kansas, 48-14 Utah, and 38-24 BYU. These are drubbings. And here's the crazy part. You start anybody but Nico versus Ohio, I think you probably win that game. He was clearly just unable to do anything against that defense that day, because they were playing for the pass, making him beat him with his legs, and he wasn't able to. Khalil Wilkins wouldn't be able to do that. It's easy to say in hindsight, but, I think this team can get better. I still do believe that. I think there's a ceiling to it, and I think it's pretty low. But I think you got a small chance at bowl eligibility. If you can get better over the next 2 weeks, you got to get better and healthy over the next 2 weeks. For sure. There's just no other way around that. You've got UCF, TCU, Houston, and Colorado coming up. Hopefully you can go 3-1 in that stretch. It's a lot to ask, but you're definitely capable of beating UCF. You're definitely capable of beating Houston. You're definitely capable of beating Colorado, and TCU is a team you'd have to upset, but they're more upsettable than BYU, Utah, or Kansas at this point in time, I think. It's close. They're close to as good as the other teams, but they do it. They're not a physical team as much as the others are. Then you would have to either upset Texas Tech or BYU or Arizona State to get into the bowl game. You're going to have to upset somebody to get to a bowl game, and then you're going to have to play really well and beat other teams. It's going to be tough, but
Nothing
it's not
worth
impossible.
having is easy. That's the way I look at it.
Huh?
Nothing worth having is easy. That's the way I look at it.
Right. And this team, like I say, maybe you only win 4 games, maybe you only win 5. I don't know. But we just need to get around to some positives and see some positives.
And you got more rest than Central Florida has. That's another positive right there. And the cat I heard was asking, what are the positives? What are the positives? Well, Kitty Cat, we are listing all the positives right here and now on Locked On West Virginia for you.
I think I'm done. I'm ready for bed. Jackson, tell everybody where they can find you.
Well, they can find me on Alabama with the Voice College Football Monday, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays after every game. And they can check out my latest 3 episodes of The Jacksonian, episode 79 with Sonny Verma of Locked On Illini on 3, and Bears on Tap, episode 80 with Chris Drew from Menace to Sports and Fireside Yankees, and episode 81 of The Jacksonian with Alex Dono from Locked On Canes and Locked On ACC, as we go over all kinds of stuff, all right there on The Jacksonian. And for more updates, what I've got going on, Jacksonian and Alabama with the Voice College Football, and my appearances on Locked On West Virginia, and the Paul Feinbaum Show, where the weekends are full of surprises. Check me out on Jackson BOCFB on @/Twitter and on Instagram and Threads at Jackson Johnson 543908.
You want to add what you had for dinner?
Oh man, I had a little something small tonight. I had a little ham biscuit with some Chick-fil-A honey mustard on it.
That's pretty good. It's better. Is that better than chicken nugget though?
Chicken nuggets are pretty awesome.
Oh, all right, guys. Thanks for joining in. Let's see what happens in the next couple of weeks. Listen, all I can ask you for is to just keep showing up to the show. I know it's tough right now. It's a rough time to be a fan. I will always come up with content for you guys. You know that. There's a lot of questions over the next 2 weeks, but we'll get through it together. Keep coming back. I promise you it's worth it. And have a great rest of your night and rest of your weekend. Watch some football tomorrow. Forget about tonight. And for Jackson, for myself, we are out of here, but not without our Wookiee noises.